tight. There is much more going on than meets the eye. The adventure begins here. And that's how trades are done on CS Money. With Hellcase multi-cases, you're no longer restricted by random case opening mechanisms. Now, you are able to pick any of the cells containing skins and actually determine what you win. Use the promo code and dive right in.
Well, would you look at that? Looks like we're jumping straight into the pistol round. It's working out very fast here for Gambit, as they're trying to make this push here on the bomb side relatively quickly here. So far, the Gambit players haven't been able to find too much success here, I'd say. But with them being up in the short position, this is still not too bad. We can't say that there is a flank going on here. It is, of course, Percy, slowly but surely moving in there for T-spawn. He might just be able to find some of these players here, especially if they do decide to head on back towards the B side. That doesn't seem to be the case, though. As Gambit, you know, they're still slowly but surely holding off here towards short. You are going to be able to see whether they can actually find the kills here, but that doesn't seem to be likely just yet. As Gambit, they've definitely slowed down to a complete crawl here. Maybe waiting for the right time to actually make a push here on the bomb side. And if that is going to be a bomb side push, it will be happening here towards short. As for the majority of the Gambit players that are stationed at, it looks like they want to try to go there, but they still have a decent amount of time to actually try to back away and head on over towards B. That seems to be the case. Right now, Percy is going to be the only line here standing between Gambit and a free B bomb site. Percy now is going to be seeing one player cross, 2, 3. He is going to let them all cross. Oh, this is going to be very interesting how this one's going to turn out, because he's allowed so many players to cross, and I don't think they're going to be anticipating for him to be already in the B tunnel's position. There again, you can see that Percy's moving in here through short, finally lands one kill, could go for more here, but he's not able to succeed, and well, we can't see that somehow Gambit have been able to turn it around. Percy very low in HP, he goes down, and this will be a round here for Gambit. As this was a pretty solid round here for the Gambit players, as they have been able to make it work. It does look like, yeah, this is going to be a pretty interesting investment here from Sprout. They decide to go for the force buy here. They have 3 scouts being purchased. That's pretty interesting to be making a scout purchase. Oh, you're seeing some scout on scout action. Mo hasn't been able to get that kill just yet. I would presume that, yeah, if you're Mo, you don't necessarily have to be taking those fights. At least not for now. The majority of the players here from Gambit, looks like they do want to be going for long. But like I said, there is a decent amount of scouts here for Sprout, so if they do want to try to make this push happen on towards the A bomb side, they're going to have to win these fights against the scout players, and I mean, they're already doing some very good work here, Sprout. They got 2 players from Gambit who are quite low in HP. So the pistols could be able to just finish them up. But it would seems that Gambit is going to continue on moving forward. There's NATO with the scouts. Again, decent damage being dealt. This is where even Speedy's pistol can come up huge here to actually finish off the remaining players. As they still want to try to make this push happen. Dennis looked like he might just be interested to pull the trigger. But Gambit, yeah, this is looking still like a pretty good chance for them. Actually trying to hit it with the bomb. So that's a pretty good dunk nade. Sadly, though, still not going to be enough to take down Doja and Demastic. There's Axel finding the kill on Dennis. And this isn't looking too good here for the remaining player here for Sprout, which is Percy. He does have the CZ out. Ooh, does do some damage on Doja, but I mean, that's the thing, though. then not only are there 2 players here on the bomb side here for Gambit, Percy would also have to win against the long guy, which I don't think that's going to be too possible. Percy though, oddly enough, Axel going for a pretty interesting pre-fire there. I want to be able to find the kill, and it will be a 2-0 scoreline here for Gambit. A pretty good start here. They even got themselves a much better chance to actually winning this upcoming round, as Sprout, all they have in this round are just some USBs, P250 in the hands of Favin, and that's pretty much it. So it should be quite an easy round for the Gambit players to pick up. Should be. Oh, this is... Wow, this is very interesting right now. Finally, Mo is able to spot out what the Sprout guys are doing there, but that was actually very cool. More often than not, you're going to be seeing the CTs, if they do want to cross to the B side, either throw down, say, smoke grenade or even an HE grenade in the middle of doors to kick up the dust and make sure that the terrorists don't see him. But here, though, that's a little game of leapfrog. Worked out for them quite well. This, though, not looking too great here for Sprout. We can see that Doja is able to find multiple kills here on the bomb side. The last remaining name to Safix is just been stuck between a rock and a hard place. Doja runs out of bullets, but that's not going to be too important as Gambit get themselves a 3rd round here on the board. And it's looking like a pretty good start here for Gambit. The question is, can they actually continue on with the pressure that they've been putting on Sprout? Oh, there you go. That's another lead kill here for Sprout. As Nato Safix, it looked like he was boosted by one of his teammates there. To actually get a better chance to cross their smoke. And would you look at that, Mir, he's making some very quick pushes here on the bomb side. In fact, he's only the lonesome player here for Gambit, but he's finding all the kills necessary. There's not a single player for Sprout to actually step up to the play and maybe stop Mir, as Mir is now moving his way down CT. This is some great offensive tactics for Mir, as he's able to take down 3 players. Percy's gonna be seeing some of them Gambit players right in front of him, but he really can't find a single kill. Right now, this has been quite the superb round here for Gambit. And most importantly, they have reset the economy for Sprout. They don't really have a lot of rounds to work with. In fact, what you can see, only the upgraded pistols, so maybe Keller is gonna come out, but it's obviously not looking too great here for the likes of Sprout. Okay, this time around, Sprout gonna be throwing down the standard smoke there to block off the vision for the T's. But that doesn't seem like it's gonna be too necessary, as the remaining of the Gambit squad just maybe want to try to make this push on the bomb site. In fact, Favin has won the fight against Mo, so they can try to recover the sniper rifle, but we can see that Demasig is gonna make sure that not a single CT is gonna recover said sniper rifle. But of course, he's got no idea about the positioning here of Dennis, and yet Axel wins the fight against him. So even though the Seagull looked somewhat prominent here for Sprout, it looks like it's just, yeah, not going to be it for them to win the round. There's still a lot more players they have to find here, and so far so good for Gambit. They have 4 rounds on the board, looking like a pretty solid T side already. Oh, looks like Mo was able to spot out the feats of the player, and he might just be anticipating this push to take place. Nato Savix, yes, he does see Mo in that position. This is looking like a pretty good start right now for the Sprout players, but Dennis is stuck in a pretty interesting position. It would be of best for him to back away, which he does silently, not even looking backwards to make sure that he doesn't get poor timing on him. Flash comes in. Dennis, though, still tries to get the flick in, but it's a very difficult shot to be landing. And for now, this aggressiveness for Sprout has at least netted them 2 kills here on the Gambit players. Sure, they end up losing one of their own, but this trade is obviously worth it. Now, it does kind of look like the Sprout players might just be able to hold on to their positions. It doesn't look like they're going to be contested just yet, though. We can see that Mir is up here in short, and We did see how much havoc he was able to cause the previous rounds. It does look like the Gambit players might just try to actually set up for this push here on the A bomb side. They have some of them smoke grenades in their possession, flashes as well. As you can see, they have been deployed. Favin, for now, is the only player here on the A bomb side. He does have his teammate Speedy to back him up because the push now is taking place. Favin, he does have a good angle to see the players there. The first kill working out here for Favin, but he has to find a lot more to make this one work. Gambit right now have been bogged down here, and we can see that Favin has got himself 2, and Speedy will end with a kill of his own. So that is the first round here for Sprout to pick up, and I would say that was a pretty decent round there for Sprout. I mean, they tried to change things up there. They decided to actually try to go for a mid push to maybe try to find some early frags, and which they succeeded in. Yes, they have their teammate die, NATO Safix, but at the end of it all, it was still a very good round for Sprout. Especially, we have to give credit where credit's due. You know, Favin had a pretty good hold there on the A bomb side. Tried to hold on there for as long as possible, and it did succeed in that regard. NATO, though, he doesn't see the player, though, at least that's what I thought, but he does land the flick. You can see that some of the Gambit players have been very early on here softened up by what seems to be the AWPs here of Sprout. There was Jamir, not really having the most amount of HP coming into this round, but is still very much alive and kicking, so don't disregard him just yet. Oh, this is interesting from Sprout. They decide to actually push up towards the tunnels area, and Dirt Percy might have a nasty surprise that there is, in fact, Demastic here in T-spawn. And with that being said, it was some early map control being gained here for Sprout, sure, but they end up losing 2 of their players here towards the B side, which does mean that Gambit right now have got a golden opportunity to continue on pushing on this B bomb side. This is where Favin is stationed at. Favin could be and not going to be able to win the fight against Mo. It is still a very good opportunity for Gambit to actually plant the bomb here on B side and just have themselves a good post-plant scenario, which isn't looking too good here for the remaining Sprout guys. Looks like Speedy is able to spot out some guys there from the smoke. I guess he was just able to see them because you're sometimes able to see your opponents a bit quicker on the minimap. Oh, there's some good kills for Speedy. It's a bit of a shame though that's still not going to be enough for Sprout to win the round because, oh, this is, wow, that looked kind of awkward. As Native Safix jumps into the crosshairs there of Axel, and yet he somehow wins the fight. But overall, this is looking like a very good round for Gambit to be taken. Yes, they end up having some casualties in the end, but it was all worth it for the round, and it looks like Dima not going to be able to win the fight against NATO. But yes, like I said, overall, this is looking like a pretty good round for Gambit to be taking. Most importantly here, again, they leave a pretty big dent here on the economy of Sprout. Of course, if you're Sprout, you still want to try to invest in everything you've got in this round, which we can see that the money will come through. But it's somewhat decent investment. It looks like Dennis might be the one lacking on some utility, but other than that, it's still going to be a pretty good investment here for Sprout. I do wonder, are we actually seeing a timeout here? It would make a lot of sense as Sprout, they have lost right now 5 rounds in a row. And it's obviously not a very good scoreline for them on the CT side of Dust2. You're obviously still hoping for them to acquire maybe a couple more rounds here, because having just 1 on the CT side, it is pretty dreadful, isn't it? Not to rule them out, they still have themselves a chance in this matchup. So it will be very interesting to see what they've actually come up with here in this round. We did see that the one round that they did end up winning was on the back of them just making this very interesting push down middle. So I wouldn't be too surprised to see if Sprout do decide to go for some more aggressive plays. I'd love to see them from the Sprout players, but I'm not really sure if that's going to be the case. You can see though, NATO Safix has taken a bit of a more proactive position towards short. Still has to be very careful being in a spot like this, because being in the short area, you can be very easily Molotoved or even flashed out with the Gambit players. It doesn't look like it's going to be the case just yet. Mir looks like he just tries to win the fight against NATO, and NATO does succeed in that regard. And of course, as NATO gets the kill, this is a great opportunity for him to just simply back away. And it looks like he's going to be taking another angle here, but still a pretty good angle to be taking, because if NATO, say, ends up losing the first shot, or even the engagement here against Mo, he can still very much jump down and CT spawn, but NATO's going to come out on top. This is again a very good opportunity for Sprout, as they have all the necessary tools right now to win this round. The question is, can they actually try and come through? Doja right now has got the sniper rifle in his hands. Let's try to find the angle there on the Sprout player Dennis, but it is pretty difficult to be spotting out anything. 30 seconds are remaining, and honestly, I can't really say that Gambit have been able to accomplish anything at this point, really. Now we're going to be able to see them actually try to go down here towards CT. 2 smoke grenades have been deployed. Gambit gonna make this push happen. Favendel looks like he's gonna try to spray it into the smoke, but that's the nade that's landing right on his feet. And this round seems to be his over here for Gambit. And Sprout have a very clean sweep. As Gambit, they only, apparently this round, they only inflicted what seems to be like 20 points of health. So that is a pretty good round here for the likes of Sprout. And oddly enough, you're seeing another timeout. That's weird. This is looking like Sprout, they could just try to build up of that momentum and start winning more consecutive round wins, but with this timeout being taken, yes, it is a timeout here for Gambit, of course. Looks like Blade is going to be sharing his knowledge on the Gambit players, maybe giving them some very important insight on their approach here. Because it is always very nice to be having a player like a coach in the server. You may not be necessarily able to spot out how you ended up losing a round by seeing everything from your POV. But once you have like this 6th man in the server who's able to spot out like every single player's POV, he can have a much broader picture on how the round was lost. So I guess we're going to be able to see some more decisions here from the Gambit players. In fact, they're going to be taking what seems to be early short control, not going to allow any of the Sprout players to be controlling it early. But of course, if there is going to be one player they have to face, that will be Nato Savix, who's again holding a pretty tight angle here. Again, he's pretty much in a somewhat good position to be winning the fight this time around. That's a much faster peak from the Gambit players. They were definitely anticipating for Nato to continue on holding that position. And at the very least, they have got themselves short control, and they did get Nato out of that position. But with that being said, it doesn't look like short will be the first point of contact here. Let's actually even see the mid area of the map where Gambit have deployed a decent amount of smoke grenades here. The Sprout players can't seem to see a damn thing right now, and Gambit gonna continue on with his push on the bomb side. There's still Faven firing off his AK wildly into the smoke, trying to connect some kills. Percy sure should be, and in fact it's Doja to come out of top from the window. They can now very easily plant the bomb here, Gambit. And with the bomb being planted, I'm not really sure if Sprout want to try to go for this retake, because let's be real, this is going to be a very difficult retake for the Sprout players to win. The B bomb site here on Dust2 is one of the harder bomb sites to be retaking. So I honestly don't blame the Sprout guys to just try and save their weapons here. That seems to be the correct choice if you're Sprout at this point. I guess I want to try to hunt down some of these players. Doesn't make a lot of sense if you're Gambit, because if they're actually going to get the rifles here from the Sprout players, well, which I mean they would have to take down all 3 for them to make sure that they don't make an investment on this upcoming 10th round. But it looks like that's not going to be the case. Gambit themselves realized that they could use every single penny in their pockets, because on the back of them winning this round, they have to actually have this sort of buffer zone if they end up losing, say, one more round on the terrorist side. It's going to be quite interesting to see how this round pans out for the Sprout players. We can see that Dennis now is going to be opting to go for a sniper rifle. Not really sure where he's going to be stationed at. Oh, he will be in fact down middle here, and Dennis not finding any success whatsoever. So Nato Safix looks like he's going to be the left one. Try and find some kills here. He is moving slowly but surely alongside his teammate Faven here, but the Molotov is going to force them out. But in fact, they want to push on forward. That's very weird right now for Sprout. Faven will be able to line up one more kill, but this is just kills working out here for Gambit. It looks like, yep, Mo is going to take down Percy. So it seems to be like the round here for Gambit. 8 rounds for them, and Sprout only have 2, so that's a bit of a shame. And most importantly, as you can see, folks, the money situation is pretty dire for Sprout, so I wouldn't be too surprised if it's just going to be an eco. we might just be able to see some early confrontation here along. The Gambit players slowly but surely pushing on here towards the long area of the map. Faven still finds the kill with the pistol, but at this point you're Gambit. I'd say you still have to be quite careful in this round. I don't want to be giving away any kills in this scenario, which doesn't seem to be the case. They're somehow able to win every single aim duel so far. And the last remaining Percy still, actually, I think he gets the dink on Mo, so that's something. But of course, yeah, it's simply not good enough to win the round. 9 rounds here for Gambit. This is looking like a very solid terror side so far. They've definitely been able to bounce back here from their dissatisfying defeat here on the first map, which they were in the lead, and then we saw Sprout, I think, win something ridiculous like 10 rounds? Yeah, I think it was just 10 rounds to Gambit's 1. So it was quite a shame how it turned out there. You can see that one of the players there is again in middle. It's this time going to be NATO Safix, not Dennis. Dennis is going to be holding here towards B, and he's going to be winning the fight against Mo. That is a pretty good early pickup here, and I wonder if that nade actually allowed one of the T's players, was it Demasic, to maybe recover the op, but doesn't look like he's going to need it. Faven though has got a pretty good angle here on the A bomb site, but he's going to be seeing a lot of players coming his way, and he can't land a single shot. This does mean that Gambit have got access here in the A bomb site to try and plant the bomb. Say for a position like short, and yeah, that could be enough for them to win the round. Dennis is going to have such a difficult time because Axel is here with the lurk, and Percy couldn't even save his teammate there. Axel again with a second kill. Like I said, this is looking like a very solid round for Gambit. Speedy's best bet would be probably to save that funky looking AUG of his. Sid Mead? Is that how you call that skin? It's probably one of the more newer skins because I've never seen it in my life. An interesting looking thing. But yeah, it looks like Sprout Speedy is going to be able to save that AUG of his, which means that at the very least, in this upcoming round, Sprout will have at least some more firepower. A bit more than usual for Nico. But it's still, I mean, not a lot now, is it? Gonna try to make this investment work out. The partial buy that is here for Sprout. Because they do have some of that extra money remaining. So they can invest in some of the upgraded pistols, as you can see. The AUG, of course, will remain in the hands of Speedy, since he does have the Kevlar. He's going to be able to win the fight against Percy, who at this point we can see that Sprout players are just trying to win these individual aim duels, which doesn't make a lot of sense. I mean, you can sometimes succeed in scenarios like this where you only end up having the pistols. We can see that Doja was able to kill the guy here in long. Speedy though does get his frag, and actually Fab will be able to win his fight against Doja. So this isn't looking as bad as it might have been for Sprout. Axel though, moving in here towards the bomb side, but he's still got to be quite careful as he doesn't want to be giving away his rifle here. He does win the fight against NATO. So this now becomes a somewhat good round here for Gambit. Faven probably not going to be able to accomplish anything at this point. Once he knows that the bomb's been planted, he might just think that it actually is the B bomb site, but that's the thing though. Even trying to go for the retake in this scenario would be a fool's game. He's got an AK, which is nice. Some Kevlar as well, but no defuse kit. And of course, it would be quite a difficult round to be winning in this 1-on-3. Hold on just a second, folks. It seems to be the game looking pretty odd. Would you look at that? Oh, there actually, wait, hold on just a sec. Some technical difficulties, but they're gonna get sorted out quite quickly here. And ta-da! Whoops, just jump into the game. Boom, much better. There we go. We can see that Sprout, this is probably going to be their very much last proper investment in this round. They have the Dill piece coming out. There's one in the hands of NATO, one in the hands of Dennis. But if Sprout not going to be able to get anything done here in this round, then, well, they're probably just going to have to stick here with 2 rounds in the first half here on Dust2, which obviously isn't a lot. It's actually pretty abysmal. Obviously, we're hoping to see a team like Sprout acquire a bit more rounds here than just measly 2. Safix does see the headshot there potential, but can't line up to get the kill on Mir. He does have some damage, which in itself isn't too bad, but oh, that's a pretty good Molotov. Should be able to flush out NATO Safix out of position, which it definitely does. So right about now, we can see that Gambit, yet again, they're taking some of this map control, but we can see that it has been a bit more expensive on their side, that they have to use the utility. Axel, though, he's going to be able to see a player shift into his crosshairs. There's the second right by him, and Axel single-handedly has opened up the B bomb site. This is a great opportunity for Gambit to continue on pushing on the bomb site. It looks like that's what he's going to try to do, but Favin has made a very quick rotate here, and Favin's going to win the fight against Mo. And most importantly, Favin has dropped the bomb here. Oh man, this is looking like a very good round here for Sprout, but even though it's still looking pretty good for them, we can see that 2 of the players, they're just stuck in CT, and we can see that there is a pretty good crossbar set up. But there's still 30 seconds here. Favin left in a one-on-one clutch. He's going to be able to win against Dimasik. Favin with a crucial 4 kills, and pretty much single-handedly wins the round for Sprout. Not bad, not too bad at all. As the Sprout players, especially Favin, can be quite happy about their performance here. As they very least have got 3 more rounds here. Obviously, it's not looking too good for them. They're still going to try to hope to acquire this last remaining round of the half. Oh, would you look at that? Lucky Mir is going to get the kill on NATO, whom I do believe, yeah, it looked like Dennis alongside NATO wanted to actually boost up one or the other. Actually get an early kill there in the middle, but you saw that Mir was just a bit more proficient on the auto sniper. With this early kill here working out for Gambit, we can see that they're really not going to be pushing for any map control just yet, though. If anything, they would probably want to try to go here towards the middle. That's where they got the initial kill. He sees the shadow of Mir there, Dennis, but it's still quite a difficult kill to be landing because you do have to flick up, try to make sure the spray connects. And right about now, looks like Gambit gonna continue on with their pursuit here with this A bomb site push. But even so, again, they don't necessarily have to make a full-on execute on the bomb site because they still have some time to work with. And I wouldn't be too surprised if they would have some of their players to maybe try to find frags on different parts of the map. We can see that one of the individuals, Axel there, is heading his way towards the B side. Percy will take down Dima, but this will give an opportunity for Axel to maybe get out of the tunnels. But we can see that Percy is very loud on his feet. He's made his way here, and Percy does win the fight against Axel. There's still a couple more Gambit players remaining. The Molotov is forced out, but still leaves him in a pretty good position to get a kill. But we can see that Gambit right now, they're able to find all the necessary kills, and it looks like the bomb will go down here for the CIS team. Speedy will obviously try to give it his best shot to try and win this clutch, but it's not an easy one because Mo, looking at the window area, will net him 1 kill, and that will be 12 rounds here for Gambit in comparison to Sprout's 3. So obviously it's going to be, man, this has been quite the one-sided affair so far. Gambit able to acquire 12 rounds here, and now them being on the city side, they're probably going to be able to relax just a little bit. I mean, with them acquiring 12 rounds here, imagine if they end up winning the pistol round. That's going to make things even easier for the Gambit side, but I don't think that's going to be, well, that may not necessarily be the case. Because I will say this, that more often than not, pistol rounds are still kind of 50-50 affair. So you still can see even Sprout find some success here. Mo is definitely going to realize there is a long push taking place. And he just want to try to get out of there as soon as possible. He has been caught out in the middle. So this does mean that Sprout can very much continue on pushing forward. Looks like both the smoke grenades have been deployed to block off the vision there from the CTs. Dimasik landing some shots, but still not good enough to be getting the kills. It looks like Sprout, they're going to have their players in some pretty good positions right now. They have some on the side. They have one in Goose. They even have an individual towards long. So if the bomb's been planned for him, that is pretty sick. But it's going to be quite difficult for him to get a kill with the Glock. We can see the Gambit now going to continue on pushing forward to the side. There's Axel finding a kill, and oddly enough, Axel just spinning around with that USP of his. This is still looking pretty good right now for the Sprout guys. Doja finding some 2 massive kills right now, and Doja left in a one-on-one against Speedy. If Doja is able to win it, he still has enough time to get the defuse in, but Speedy playing this one to perfection, and Speedy's going to get the clutch. Well done by him, as it is going to be the 4th round for Sprout, and a possibility for maybe to acquire a couple more rounds. As the Sprout guys, they're obviously going to be going for the investment here, as they did end up winning the round, but Gambit, they will actually go for the force by themselves, interestingly enough. And a timeout has been taken. I wouldn't be too surprised if the timeout's been called out here by Gambit, because they're very much close to secure themselves victory, and maybe Blade is going to be giving some wise words here. Yep, it's in fact Gambit taking the pause. Like I said, I wouldn't be too surprised if Gambit's Blade is going to be giving some wise words here for the players, because that's the thing. I mean, Gambit, they're very much on the brink of winning this 3rd map, most importantly winning the series alongside it. So they obviously don't necessarily have to be making force buys like this one right here. They could have just very easily gone for Nico, but them having the force buy here means that Sprout's still going to have to fight for contention, even in a round like this. Oh, some early fights here with the Scout. I do believe there's in fact 2 players there. Oh, actually no. There's only one player there towards T-spawn here from Sprout. And this is looking like already a pretty good round here for the Sprout players. They have been able to overwhelm the defensive here for Gambit. Not really sure if Demasic alongside his teammate actually can get anything done at this point, because Sprout there slowly but surely moving forward on that A bomb site. Gotta be able to plant the bomb alongside it. And this seems like it will be a round here for Sprout to be taken. Speedy might just get something done here. He's got the UMP out very close in killing the player. But if not Speedy, then you have players like, oh, Favin missing some shots with the MP5. It is still quite difficult to be hitting shots with the SMG in a far range distance. But Demasic, he's at the very least making things a bit more expensive here for Sprout. So I do respect the hustle. But there seems to be the Sprout players want to try to maybe hunt him down. NATO sure as hell does. They still got to be quite careful, as he doesn't want to be given an AK here for the opponents. So as NATO is just holding his angle, looks like Demasic. Oh, that was an interesting engagement there. Dennis though with the Glock, it should be maybe. Yes, he does win the fight, even with the simplest of Glocks against Demasic. And now this will force Gambit to go for a full eco here, only with the USPs. So it's again looking like a pretty prominent round for Sprout to be winning, especially as their opponents don't really have much to offer, if anything, really. Only the pistols, no Kevlar whatsoever. They've gone for a pretty simple setup here. We have seen that they've thrown down the smoke grenade down middle, and they have put all of their players here towards long. So interestingly enough, they're trying to win the fights here. So far, so good here for Gambit. They're able to find some kills here with the USP, but it looks like Sprout is here to get the cleanup and as well the round. 6 rounds here for Sprout. So they pretty much got the more, I guess we could say, mandatory rounds, right? They end up winning the pistol round. That's great. They end up getting the conversion round where Gambit gone for the force bite. That's also great. The full eco, check. So they got themselves 3 rounds in pretty quick succession. But now they are going to have to going up against the force bite here of Gambit. That's the one thing Sprout is going to have to be very careful in their approach. Looks like it is going to be a bit of a more faster style of round. Mo is anticipating such a fast push to happen here towards short. This will net 1 kill here for the Gambit team. It is looking quite possible that Demasic is going to be seeing a couple players coming in his way. Demasic doesn't win the fight against Percy. This does mean that they can very much continue on pushing forward towards the middle. Mo doesn't see a damn thing there because of the smokes. But we can see that Mir is definitely struggling in this scenario. He does win the fight against Speedy. And we can see that the remaining Sprout players are going to try to make this push on the B bomb site. The good thing for them is that there actually isn't a single player on the side, so they can very much plant the bomb here. It's just that if they want to plant the bomb, they have to cross. There's the flashes raining in. So this will deter Mir from peeking. But most importantly, Gambit. Oh, actually, he still tries to win the fight here. Favin will be able to come out on top, but now it's all up to Favin. Right behind the car, Favin getting one more crucial kill. It's up against Doja. Favin quite low in HP. Doja should be able to come out on top here, which Doja does succeed. 3 kills there for Doja, and we are going to be seeing 13 rounds for Gambit, as that was quite the close round there, I must admit. That's the thing about the B bomb site. Even in the position which Favin was in, it looked very possible that he might just be able to get all the kills necessary. There you go, Favin pretty much 1-on-2. Gets the first one guy. Okay. So we are going to be able to see the Gambit players have themselves, even on the back of winning the round, I guess a bit of a lesser investment than previously anticipated. Don't really have too much amount of utility to be working here, but they are going to be fighting for this presence here towards long. It is quite a crucial part of the map here, whether it be a CT or T player. Just got to make sure that even if you give up pit area control, you got to be very careful here of Oppers and NATO Sapphics. That's one of them in the pit area. Is going to be able to find Mo. So that's an early advantage here for Sprout. I would presume that with that initial kill on the bomb side, they might just be able to contend here to push on this A side. Sprout having a player in the pit area, like I said, that's a very powerful position to be having. They can still go wherever they want, really. They can try to go towards A, but I mean, as we can see at this point, Sprout are just able to rack up these kills. As the Gambit players trying to win this individual aim duels, and that's the thing, they're not really working out for them. But I must admit though, I do respect the current positioning here for the Gambit players, you know. Sometimes, and quite likely, you might be able to see it in a 3-on-5 scenario just like this one. You're probably going to be seeing still one more player on the bomb side, maybe one here in middle, and maybe one on the side. But I do like the fact that Gambit have decided to put all their eggs in one basket. This basket being the A bomb side. Demastic is still doing a pretty good job here in the hole. Axel, I don't think, yeah, he doesn't find the frag there, even though Percy was so low HP from the FAMAS. It will be around here for Sprout, and most importantly, they can actually pat themselves on the back with this one. They force a full eco here for the Gambit players, and in fact, they must have to go for a double eco at this point. So maybe it will be a force buy. That's a possibility. A force buy here, then a full eco next. Or in fact, yeah, it will be just a full eco here from Gambit. They want to try to play this one safe, it looks like. NATO not going to be lining any of the kills just yet. Okay, not really sure what happened there. It kind of looked like Mir got actually stuck there on the scaffolding. That's a bit of a shame how it turned out for him, but it's still not looking like a very good round here with Gambit players. But hold on just a sec. Mo is going to be able to find one more kill. Percy should and will get the wall bang. Well, there you go. There's another kill there for Speedy. This round is pretty much going to be over at this point. 8 rounds here for Sprout seem to be very plausible, as the remaining Gambit players, or shall I say singular player Doja, is left in quite an interesting scenario. Looks like he's going to be able to see Speedy here, but yeah, it's simply not that easy to be getting a kill with the USP. Like I said, 8 rounds here for Sprout, and they have another great opportunity to be winning one more round of the board, as the Gambit players have to go for another eco here. So I wouldn't be too surprised to see if our scoreline after a minute or so is going to turn into 9 rounds for Sprout. Oh, an early push here from the Gambit players. Then the nades do some serious damage here on Favin, but still going to be able to survive here for another day. As even though the nades do some serious damage, it still wasn't enough to get the kill. Can't see though, Percy's gonna double check here. Make sure a certain Mir isn't hiding there in the lower tunnel though. There's some trades here in the middle, but it still seems to be like it will be another round here for the likes of Sprout. Not sure if actually... Oh, okay, Axel gets the better there of NATO. And somehow he's gonna be able to bunny hop to safety, but... Like I said, this round isn't looking too good here for the Gambit players. In fact, Dima's gonna find one more kill. And wasn't the most cleanest of rounds here for Sprout. We can definitely agree with that one. But obviously, it is a victory here, and that's what matters here for Sprout. Right now, the round difference between the two teams is just 4 rounds. At one point, the scoreline was 12-3, very much in favor of Gambit, as it is right now. And at that point, the round difference was 9. Here, it's just 4 rounds, so it's obviously looking a bit better here for Sprout. Dennis, trying to find the initial kill, won't be able to succeed just yet, as the Gambit players have decided to opt for 2 Molotovs to deploy in the long area. None of them will be able to do substantial damage here. Mo is actually going to be able to find the kill on Dennis early on here. It's a good thing that Dennis's teammate Nero's very close by to get the refrag. So it's still not the most unwinnable scenarios for Sprout. They are able to get the trade in, which does mean that a 4-on-4 scenario like this is kind of favoring the terrorist side here a bit. Because whichever part of the map they decide they want to plant the bomb on, they will have the advantage in terms of numbers. Does look like if Sprout want to go somewhere, that place is probably going to be the A-bomb site. So Molotov being used here. They're going to be making the push here happen. Demasig fully blinded with a flashbang by I think his own teammate. And right now we can see that Sprout, they have to go up against the crossfire, but even so, there's Doja doing most of the work here long, and Doja doesn't necessarily have to be taking the fight at this point. He needs his teammate to rotate in, and there's Speedy trying to win the fight against Doja. He does succeed, and right now Nato Savic is right on the scaffolding. It's all up to Speedy trying to win this clutch right now. It's a mano-a-mano clutch, in which Mir, he does have quite a lot of HP in comparison to Speedy. And I think Speedy at this point, he can't really be playing the waiting game. He has to try to go in for the plant, which he does. And I think Speedy right about now knows that there's a decent amount of time that has passed. And Mir making sure that Speedy isn't hiding close by the wall. Otherwise, he could be a goner. But at this point, Speedy not going to be taking the best of angles here. And I think Mir might begin to realize the approximate position here of Speedy. And the thing is, though, Mir, he has to hurry up here. It doesn't really have the most amount of time here to work with, but I think, yep, he realizes the positioning of Speedy, and it will be still enough time to get the defuse in, and it will be the 14th round for Gambit. Nato Sapphics pretty early on here firing of shots in middle. Now none of the shots gonna be able to connect to get a kill or at least some damage here on the Gambit players. Even though we can see yet again, Gambit ended up winning the previous round, we can see their investment obviously isn't looking that great. They do have the rifles in their possession, which is great and all, but in terms of utility, it's not looking as solid as it probably could be. Mir has been flashed out by his teammate, should be able and will be able to get the kill here early on here, and would you look at that? This is looking like a very good round right now for the Gambit players. So far, so good. It's a 4-on-2, in which they have all what it takes to win the round, unless Favin, sneaking around the smoke, he might just be able to get his way out here on the B side. Not sure if the Gambit players will be anticipating his position. Mo, yep, he definitely sees the positioning there of Favin. Most importantly, that he doesn't really have his teammate back him up. Speedy is on the other part of the map entirely. So right now, Speedy is going to be running into the loving arms there of Doja. And there's the 15th round for Gambit. And they're pretty much one more round away to actually secure the victory here on the half, the map, as well as the match. Oh, and you can actually see how important that round was for Sprout. Coming into this round, they pretty much don't have any money whatsoever. So this is actually a very much a crucial victory that Gambit were able to pull off. Of course, Sprout, they will be making the investment. There's no other way about it, but I mean, it's obviously not going to be looking too great as you have one scout in the hands of NATO, couple deagles, sure, but it's obviously not as good as it probably could have been. We are going to be able to see the majority of the Sprout players stationed here towards tunnels. It kind of looks very plausible that once the smoke ends up fading, that they are going to be trying to make a push here at the B bomb site. Not necessarily a fast push, as they are going to be pretty much shifting all the way into the side itself. So I would presume that the Gambit players, actually, yep, right about now they're going to be making the push here. The Molotovs will be thrown out here. Axel, yep, they actually got caught off here out in the middle of open. And Dennis right now, not sure if he can find any more kills here. Apparently not, but I mean, the damage has been dealt here. Gambit have to conceal this round. There's really no need for them to actually try and go for the retake, as this would be a fool's game to try and retake this bomb site. They may not have the best of weapons here, Sprout, but they definitely have some great positions. And of course, trying to win those fights will be very difficult for Gambit. And that is why they decide to go for the save here. They should be able to save their weapons here, and of course, with them weapons being saved, we will be able to see an investment happen here on the 26th round. Yep, we're definitely going to be able to see some of the Gambit players actually trying to go for the investment here. Axel will have a FAMAS in his hands. Mir will be having an M4 by the looks of things. So it's obviously not looking too bad here for the Gambit players in terms of weaponry. And we're looking quite decent. Whoa, what's not sure what was going on there, but that was quite a trippy angle. I guess we are going to be able to see Mo try to get the initial kill here. Oh no, that's some poor timing, but right now it's still definitely a possibility, which they are going to be trying to make the best of. Good frag here for Gambit's Mo. And with that kill being acquired, he can again just take a much more safer position. As right now, if anyone's going to be trying to find these early kills, it's obviously going to be Sprout. As with that initial kill being acquired here for Gambit, if the trade's going to be going their way, they should be able to win the round on the back of that first kill. Mo now, not going to be dropping off just yet, still holding the angle. It's a good thing that his teammate has deployed a smoke grenade, so this will get him some more time here. Mo still tries to win the fight, but Percy will get the better of him. So that is now a very crucial kill acquired here by the Sprout players. They've taken down the main opera here for Gambit. And I wouldn't be too surprised to see if actually Gambit, on the back of that kill on Mo, they would actually pursue this push on the bomb site. We have some data utility just now being expended here over the A site. It looks like they might try to go for a bit of a more contact play by the looks of things. But right about now, they are deploying way more utility here at the bomb site. Demasic, the lonesome player here on the A side, isn't able to get a single kill. Some damage being dealt, but that's not good enough. There's Dennis taking down Axel. And right now, Sprout have got themselves a bomb site for the taking. And it looks like Gambit will have to conceal yet another round. Mir, alongside his buddy Doja, just have to try and save the weapons. As really, the economical situation is going to be looking pretty dire for Gambit. In fact, coming into this round, I think it's just going to have to be an eco for some of the remaining players. Surely, if they would have had like 3 players surviving, I suppose we could be seeing a force buy, but over here, with only 2 players surviving, something tells me it will have to be an eco here for the remaining Gambit players. Interestingly enough, as this game is getting as close as ever to maybe overtime or the end here for Gambit, it seems like we're not going to be seeing any timeouts coming out, neither from Sprout's coach or Gambit's, in fact. I would presume that maybe Blade would be content with taking a timeout, say, after this round, where Gambit only have, you know, the pistols to work with. But right about now, it will be just for Sprout to be very careful in this approach. They should realize that, you know, Gambit have been able to save a couple of their weapons here, but they, of course, have no idea how well are they going to be equipped. So that is why we can see that they're taking a very safe approach here. NATO Safix might just be able to see one of the players here in the middle. Yep, he definitely sees him. It doesn't net him the kill here on Doja. He's in fact will be winning the fight against Aquilin, almost winning the one against Mir. That's the bomb being dropped, but the thing is though, it's still going to be in the possession here of Sprout pretty soon, I'd say. You can see though, Mo hasn't been able to make his way out of the long area, but Speedy though, that's not the most cleanest of spray transfers, but it will be netting him a kill. And of course, another round here for Sprout. They do have 12 here on the board. The difference between the scorelines is only 3 rounds here. You can see that the Gambit players will definitely have themselves a proper investment coming into this round. Again, they'll be in the hands of Mo, and the rest of the guys are going to be very well equipped. This is, of course, a very crucial round for either side. As pretty much, I mean, if you're Sprout and you're going to be able to win this round yet again, it's going to mean that Gambit have to go for a Nico. So really, if Sprout want to end up winning this to overtime, they really have to win 2 gun rounds and 1 eco. So it's still a bit better than winning 3 gun rounds in a row. Pretty deep flash, pardon me, not flashbang, but smoke grenade being deployed. Mir though will be able to find again the initial kill here. Demasik have to be a bit more careful with his approach here towards short, because there's definitely a lot of the Sprout players there, and Mo does end up losing his fight against Dennis. And apparently with that initial kill being picked up, the players here from Gambit have to be a bit more careful here with their mid presence. As we can see, Favin is here. Demasik will get the kill on Favin, so he's no longer with us. So Sprout, we got a full-on minute to work with, and apparently they're not going to be heading back towards middle. Oh no, it will be a push here on the A-bomb side. Doja definitely hearing the flashes raining in, but he must be very careful. He does see the player coming his way, but if he ends up dying here long, this could give an opportunity here for Sprout. Speedy will be planting the bomb here in a more default position. Gonna be a safe bomb plan here, but now they must hold on here on the bomb site. They're of course gonna be anticipating for one of the players to come out here from long, but it's really not gonna be the case. We can see that Doja has linked up with his teammates here. Pretty good flash here to deny any vision here for NATO Savix, but they're going to be making the push here in the bombs. There's a big problem here for Gambit. They don't really have a defuse kit, so they need to find these kills as soon as possible. For now, it is just Sprout that have been able to win every single aim fight. And even though Demasik is here in CT, he pretty much has no time to work with. And even though he ends up getting the 2 kills, like I said, he doesn't have any time to work with here and win the round. Can he? Oh, he actually even does survive the bomb explosion, but only 2 points of health. And as I was talking about earlier, you know, it's a good thing that Sprout have been able to win the gun round, because here, Gambit have to go for Nico. They have to go for Nico here so that they can have their last purchase on the very last round of the half. So of course this matchup isn't going to be ending swiftly just yet, as Sprout have been able to make quite a monstrous comeback when you think about it. The first half ended 12-3 in favor of Gambit, and right now we can see that these latter stages of the second half are going neck and neck. Mo right now has revealed his position with a sniper rifle, so I think if you're a Sprout, you're probably not going to be going anywhere close B. You know where the operator is stationed at, so you want to try to avoid him like the plague. We can see that Sprout are being quite careful in their approach right here, because even though they did spot out the operator being on the B side, they're still making sure that he hasn't rotated away, which, I mean, in this case, he definitely has. You can see that Dennis, right before peeking the corner, he makes sure that he might just be able to bait out a shot from one of the CTs. So you can see the Sprout are taking some extra measures, making sure that they don't run into the Opera here. There has been a smoke wall being deployed in middle, but this is all but a fake. This push here down, but not down on the B side, isn't going to be of great importance. The main push is going to be happening here on the A side. Doja will be finding one kill here. Most importantly, Mo takes down one more, but as he goes down, this suddenly becomes a very doable round here for Gambit. Speedy takes 2 heads with him, and Axel, probably his best bet would be trying to recover that op of Mo, but let's be real, this ain't going to be too easy, and I think NATO might be looking towards long anytime soon, making sure Axel doesn't recover the sniper rifle. Which, I mean, if you're Axel, your best bet would be trying to recover a weapon here, and we can see that the Molotov has been thrown out, and making sure that Axel doesn't recover it, but Axel still lands a shot on NATO. So at least there's some kills working out here for Gambit, sure, but not the round. And as you see, folks, there's only 1 round difference between the 2 teams. This is a life and death scenario here, pretty much. As Gambit, if they end up losing this one, I mean, they're going to be having quite the rough time in overtime. And well, Sprout, if they end up losing this one, well, it would be quite a shame that they've made such a comeback so far, and to fall this short it would be quite dreadful. Don't want to see that happen if you're a Sprout fan. Interestingly enough, in this round, Gambit are going to be giving up full presence here for the terrorists to take middle if they end up wanting to do so. There's not a single player from the Gambit squad actually looking towards middle, or even in fact in CT spawn. I think the only guy who's doing more or less of a job looking down middle, making sure there's a push not happening, I think it actually is Mir on the B side. So you can't say that the hold here from the middle from Gambit is pretty lackluster. Some last bits of utility now being exchanged from both teams. We can see that Doja and Mir have been doing a pretty good job still keeping some of their utility intact. But most importantly, here towards the A side, they actually don't have any more utility remaining. So it's now going to come down to the headshot potential, and in fact kills here from Gambit, 20 seconds. Looks like Sprout going to be making this push here on the A bombs. It is a very fast one for now. Dimasik is going to be able to find 1 kill. Mo will be able to help him out. But right now, there's still a good opportunity for Sprout to be planting the bomb in this scenario. And there's Favin with a kill on Axel. And right about now, this is looking quite horrible for Gambit. Trying to take the retake here. It's going to be quite a difficult task here. Mo hoping to find a kill on NATO to try and cross the bombs. But we can see that the Operas are both being very careful at this point. NATO going to have the flash peek on in, but there's still a kill here for Mo. And with that kill coming in, they must try to hurry on here on the bomb side. Favin still has a Molotov in his possession. It's of course going to be deployed here on the bomb, and well, they have a smoke grenade to defuse the bomb, and I'm not sure if the defuse coming in. In fact, Mo doesn't have anything to work with here, trying to find the bomb. He finally does it, but there's very little time to get the defuse in, and it will be a round here for Sprout. 15-15, and Sprout have made quite the comeback here on the second half. And right now, as we're going to be heading into overtime, I think it's safe to say that Sprout going to feel quite uplifted how this round and in fact this entirety second half worked out for them, which it worked out very, very well here for the Sprout players. So our first set of overtime will be kicking in right before the overtime starts. I guess both teams then going to be having quite a lengthy discussion on their approach here in the overtime. I guess the good thing here nowadays overtime that the players aren't going to have to worry about money issues. So you're going to be starting with a decent amount of bank pretty early. And ecoing definitely won't be a possibility unless you end up buying, I don't know, pretty much every single round auto snipers. That's definitely not something that either team would end up doing in this case, I'd say. Gonna be taking this one safe, and I wouldn't be too surprised to see if now with them having so much money early on here, maybe even the T side may even consider trying to go for the double op setup here on the T side. That's definitely a viable option if you're trying to find openings on different parts of the map. Not necessarily having one sniper to just try to roam around the map and try to find openings by his lonesome. You could definitely have one of his teammates to try to help him out in that regard. So as the overtime is going to be setting in, we have to realize the implications of the Sprout comeback. I mean, them having able to win 12 rounds here in the terror side in comparison to 3 measly rounds here for Gambit, Sprout are going to be feeling way more confident heading into the first round of overtime. And I'm not really sure if Gambit going to be able to do much of anything to try to hold this T side of Sprout. Because this is also a good thing here for Sprout. They're going to be able to have so much momentum, and for them, the fact that they're on the terrorist side, they're going to be able to actually dictate the pace on how they want to approach this. And so far, they've been able to show us a decent amount of slow style of rounds as well as fast style of rounds. And it doesn't look like Gambit have been able to do a good job at countering them. Well, we're not going to be able to see a double op setup here on the T side, but on the CD side, that's going to be quite prevalent. There's going to be Mir with a sniper rifle here towards middle. I would presume that Mo is going to be alongside his teammates towards long, or maybe he's going to be heading over back towards short. In fact, there's really not a single player here from Gambit looking towards short. And finally, some of them come in, and it looks like Sprout are going to be taking their best to try and win those fights, but we can see that Gambit, they're going to be taking this one quite safely. Once they see the Molotovs and utility deployed here from Sprout and short, they're actually going to be backing away and allowing Sprout to take short control. But with that being said, it's still quite uncertain where Sprout do want to end up going. Still got themselves a decent amount of time here, and GG.Bet gonna try to find a kill here on Percy, which is quite difficult, even though he does have the high ground and pretty good angle there on GG.Bet, and a pretty good angle on Percy, pardon me. It's still not good enough to get the kill. And right now, it looks like Percy might just try to pull off a bit of a fake here at the A bomb site, deploying some of that utility and jumping into the CT spawn. This is now a very good opportunity for Sprout to actually hit this B bomb site. I can say that there's only 2 players here from the Gambit side holding on to that B side, so they're gonna have to do some serious work here. Axel will be able to find the first kill. Mir, though, finds one on Favin. This suddenly becomes a much more doable round for Gambit to be winning. There's still Percy winning a fight against Doja, and right about now, 10 seconds remaining. Where on earth is Sprout heading? Looks like they're going back towards the A side. There's some crucial kills here for Speedy, but is there enough time to plant the bomb here? They need to find a kill here on Mo. Mo lands the no-scope, and right now, another one for Mo, and he single-handedly wins the round here for Gambit, as there's really nothing that Speedy could have done at that point. That was, I mean, an interesting choice there from Sprout to try to make their way onto the A site. But of course, Mo, man, the first no-scope, that's crucial. The second one, I mean, jeez Louise. Well, some damage being dealt here onto GG.Bet with the sniper rifle. I guess the good thing here from Gambit is, at the very least, they end up winning one more round here at overtime, which it means that they haven't completely given up hope, so that's good to see. But all of this early damage exchange in the middle, I can still safely say that Gambit aren't going to be taking any sort of precautions to make sure that Sprout aren't going to be making any splits down middle. In fact, they have a player in the form of Dimasik who's just going to be playing on the scaffolding. So really, if there's going to be any players who he might be able to see, are just going to be the ones making the push on the B bomb site. I think Mir might have been able to spot out a couple guys trying to land in some shots with a sniper rifle. But now we can safely say that Sprout going to make this push on the B site right now. They're not finding a single kill right about now. Native Savix chimes in, Speedy as well. And Dima, quite low in HP, but he still wins the fight against Speedy. Still a couple more players remaining here from Sprout. There's Denny. So he goes down to the no-scope of Mo. Now it's all left on the hands of Native Savix. There's quite a lot of pressure right now for him. Him being able to be bombs, and he has to be looking at 3 angles at the same time. The doors, the window, as well as the tunnel. Quite the difficult clutch for NATO to be winning. And we can see that Gambit will have a 17th round here on the board. So far, they got themselves 2 rounds on the CT side of overtime. Something they've, and most importantly, consecutive round wins. Something they really struggled to do on, well, the second half of the entirety. Pardon me, the entirety of the second half. There you go. So it's actually very good to see that Gambit is still very much alive and kicking. Wonder how this round's going to work out. As we can see that Sprout, now they have decided to go for the double op setup. Speed at least early on, try to get him some pot shots there for the door. I would presume that if he doesn't find anything, he's probably going to be switching to that rifle of his right time soon. NATO, though, he's finding some kills here in the middle. Good pickups here for NATO. There's Dennis right now, who's going to be winning the fight on the mirror. This suddenly becomes quite a difficult round here for Sprout. Almost winning the shot there is NATO. But most interestingly enough, Axel's still going to try to win the fight, which, in fact, he does succeed against NATO Savix. Not sure if he realizes that there, in fact, is a player who has pushed his way through the tunnels. Axel, though, yeah, not going to be winning the time. Mings there against Fabian. As right about now, Doja. Last man standing here. His position has been compromised. And it looks like Doja is still in this very last round here of overtime. We'll try to give it his best shot to get the retake in. It's always going to be very difficult. Retaking the B bomb site, especially if you're a lonesome player, it's no easy task. Even for a veteran like Doja, who runs in for the smoke, tries to line up the shots, but yes, it will be at least one more round here for Sprout on the overtime of Terrorist side. And it's still not too bad of a scoreline, I'd say, for either squad. They could be quite happy about their performance. Maybe Sprout, not so much, especially on that first round of overtime. They definitely had all what it takes to actually win that round, but I mean, there was so little time to work with that we haven't been able to see some crazy shots from Mo in that, what was it, 10 seconds remaining, I think? Maybe even less than that, something like 6 seconds. Because as he kills the second guy, I think the timer hits like 0 seconds. Oh, bit of a boost here going on in the middle. Something NATO Savix and co have been doing quite a lot here on the CT side. But he's not going to be able to find any kills just yet. I wouldn't be too surprised if Mir would have actually decided to try to go for the push here down short, but the Molotov and now the smoke grenade will be blocking off his vision, as well as a possibility to be moving forward. Smoke grenades being deployed in CT. This could definitely prompt the Gambit players to continue on moving forward in middle. Of course, the good thing here for Gambit that there isn't really a single player from Sprout actually looking down middle other than Dennis. But once Dennis ends up seeing so many players coming towards the B bomb site, I think he's just going to try to play this one safe. It throws down the smoke grenade. Now he tries to peek on in. Maybe he can get a kill. He sees the player for sure, but he can't line up the kill right now. It's all the person trying to hold things down here on the B side. It's such a difficult task for him. You can see that still the Sprout players able to find some kills here on the bomb site, but it's obviously not looking too great for them. Dimasik in a position where he should be able to shut down any of these players coming in through the door, but Dima, I'm not sure why he considers to try to take the fight to the Sprout players, as this gives a great opportunity right now for Sprout to continue on with the retake. Most importantly, you can see that Sprout, they have some of those flashes which will be raining over to the side. The push is going to be taking place, but look at the crossbar being set up. It's such a powerful one. Mir getting the kills, as well as the third one for Mir. And not too bad of a round here for Gambit, as they have been able to decimate the defensive here from Sprout, and Gambit with them now having so much money in the board. I can see one auto sniper invested from Dima. Wouldn't be too surprised if we could see a couple more sniper rifles invested. But you can't see that Sprout, I mean, they realize the importance of these upcoming... Oh, okay, this is interesting. It's actually going to be Gambit taking the pause here. I do respect that from the Gambit players. Very rarely you're going to be able to see a team that's actually in the lead. And once they know that they're very much on the brink of winning, say a round or even a map or a series point, they're still going to be just heading on and not really taking any timeout. So I do like the fact that Gambit going to be making sure that they are going to be able to succeed in this one. NATO Sapphics trying to spot out some of the Gambit players early on here, which he does see a couple, and you can see that. Look at the amount of speed Mir has got. He's moving in here at the bombs, and he's finding all the kills necessary right now. They're going to be able to overwhelm here NATO Sapphics and co. And we can see that the remaining Sprout players, they're rotating here, but they are coming in here from the B side. There's Dennis in the CT smoke. And it's really going to be a difficult round here for Sprout to win. Gambit got themselves a really good chance here. Of course, the bomb is going to come in. Dennis though, yep, trying to do whatever he can here in this scenario, but it is such a difficult spot to be in here in the elevator position. I would presume that Dennis definitely wants to try to wait for his teammate Percy to come in from short. The combined effort of the two would be much more effective. Molotov being thrown out. Mo has got the angle here on Dennis. Now it's all up to Percy to try to win the clutch. Now they know where he's coming from. He is going to be coming in from the short position. Mo is just ready and waiting, hoping to see Percy in his crosshair. Mo knows. He definitely hears the footsteps. He sees the player. Can't really line up the no-scope just yet, but the P250 will do it. And that will be it, folks. Our matchup ends in victory here for Gambit. They end up winning the best of 3 series, and they're going to be heading over to the playoffs here, the StarSeries Season 7 European Qualifier. Hope you enjoyed the broadcast. It's been quite interesting matchups here going on. Of course, the second matchup that's going to be happening will be Windstrike going up against the likes of Vitality. So, of course, guys, stay tuned, as we'll be right back with some more Counter-Strike.